Politics now. Today is the final day of the Free State Elective Conference. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to close the conference later this afternoon. Now, following the drama of the opening day where some members disrupted the registration process, IPC convener Mxolisi Dukwana called for unity in the organization. eNCA reporter Moloko Moloto is following the conference on the ground and joins us with the very latest. Now, Moloko, voting has happened already. Is there any idea at all who could be leading this race between Mxolisi Dukwana and Sisi Mtombela for the position of chairperson?
Hello, Marcel Gordon. Well, at this point in time, we have absolutely no idea who could be winning this particular conference. But we know, and I can quickly take you through the names of the people who are contesting the top 5 position. Mxolisi Dukwana, who is the convener of the ANC in the province, is contesting for that position along with his deputy in the interim provincial structure of the ANC, Sisi Mtombela, who happened to be his boss in government because Sisi Mtombela is the premier and Mxolisi Dukwana is the MEC of Kokta. And coming into this particular conference, we know that Thabo Manyoni, who was previously the executive mayor of Mangaung, also had an interest to contest, but we know that there were some horse trading and negotiations leading into this particular conference, so much that he decided to no longer contest for the chairperson position and rather to support and also contest along the slate of Sisi Mtombela, meaning that he has managed to meet the threshold from the nominations from the floor, and he's going to contest for that position of deputy chair on the slate of Sisi Mtombela. That is Thabo Manyoni, and the former mayor of Metse Maholo, Toto Makume, is contesting with Mxolisi Dukwana there for the deputy chairperson position. And the secretary position, we are seeing Paseka Nompondo, who until recently or until today was the coordinator. That is the position that's equivalent to provincial secretary. And his deputy, Pulediso Mutsweneng, is contesting him there, and Paseka Nompondo is on the slate of Sisi Mtombela, while Pulediso Mutsweneng is on the slate, the slate, beg pardon, of Dukwana Mxolisi. The Sakimukwena decided to withdraw his or decline the nomination, and Deputy Dibulelo Mahlatsi, Member of Parliament, on the slate of Mxolisi Dukwana and Vusi Shabalala declined, whereas Kinalemang Mohale is also going to contest for that position. On the treasurer, we see Mata Boleto, formerly the MEC for Sport, Arts and Culture here, and also I think Deputy President of SANCO at some point. She is up for the position of treasurer on the slate of Mxolisi Dukwana, we know that, and Vusi Shabalala is going to contest for that position of treasurer as well, the former mayor of Malutia Phofung. Now, we actually heard earlier from the National Executive Committee member of the ANC, David Matlobo, who is leading a team here to the province of the Free State, saying that voting started in the early hours of this morning at about 4 o'clock, and the briefing happened at about 10 o'clock. He said in the coming 2 hours, possibly by midday, we should have had the results. But let's listen to him, David Matlobo, as he was speaking to us earlier.
Able as the organization in the 9th Provincial Conference of Free State to have the Elections Committee and the Elections Agency taking or assuming the responsibility for the process of taking additional nomination for the 5 positions of chair, deputy chair, secretary and deputy secretary and treasurer. That process took a little bit longer, but it is part of the internal democracy of the ANC, wherein if members, they need clarity so that the organization moves seamlessly. In other words, nobody is left behind. Immediately after the nominations were taken from the floor, they were confirmed. the elections agency, supported by the elections committee, they needed to compile the ballot box on the basis of the names that were there. And as it was explained in plenary, with different color coding so that it's become much easier and smoother to do that for each position.
Now, Moloko, as with all elections, there'll be winners and losers. Any talk about what the future might hold for Premier Sisi Ntombela if she doesn't emerge in this conference?
Well, if you listen to Gwede yesterday when he delivered the opening remarks on behalf of the National Executive Committee, he said that this particular Congress, particularly the leadership that would be elected, one of its tasks is to make an assessment or evaluate the performance of both the provincial as well as the local government spheres in this particular province, going on to say that there are no roads in the Free State, and he also does not see the equipment. He says, I don't see the yellow equipment, those machinery that would give you an indication that construction is taking place. And we know that in this province, municipalities returned about 800 million rand back to the National Treasury, money that had been earmarked for capital projects. That says that those municipalities or the people living in those municipalities are the ones who are going to lose out. We also had Mxolisi Dukwana when he was delivering the political report, reiterating that particular remark by Gwede saying that there's a need to evaluate the performance of the provincial conference. So it gives you an idea. If Mxolisi Dukwana were to be elected chairperson, it would not be surprising, although at this point in time there's nothing that says there's a decision taken to remove Sisi Ntombela. But that kind of gives you an idea of what is likely to happen. And if Sisi Ntombela emerges, of course, she would become the first female to occupy the position of provincial chairperson of the ANC in the history of this organization across the country. But I want to quickly bring in Oba Khwabane, who is the spokesperson for the interim provincial executive committee of the ANC. Oba, just give us an update. 2 hours has come and gone. We were promised that by now we would be knowing who emerged as leaders. What is an update?
Thank you, Moloko. What we talked about 2 hours because it's what was said by the elections agency to say that in 2 hours' time they might have finished. So the delay at the moment, we don't know what has caused the delay, but it is only the agency which can tell us, when are we going to have the results announced. So at the moment we are still awaiting. At any point in time they might say to us, now we are ready to announce.
These are the results specifically for the top 5 position. And we understand voting started very early in this morning at about 4 o'clock. This means that there's going to be a delay with regard to the nomination and election of the 30 additional members of the Provincial Executive Committee, isn't it?
No, what happens immediately once they announce the results of the top 5, nomination is done immediately, and then the elections agency then go and develop the ballot paper. So there's not going to be any break in between. After the announcement, we go straight into nominations of additional members.
Yesterday we had the national chairperson of the ANC, Gwede also supported by Mr. Mxolisi Dukwana, who was delivering the political report, talking about the importance and the need of evaluating the performance of the provincial government and even the local government sphere. In fact, Gwede was forthright to say the provincial and local government here, they don't exist. What is the future of Premier Sisi Ntombela? Because ultimately she is responsible for the executive in the province.
The issue of governance was also reflected in the organizational report, where the subcommittee on local government and legislature was dealing with that, looking at the performance of municipalities and provincial government. It's exactly what the new leadership will be seized with, to ensure that we have the good governance. We are able to improve cooperative governance in our institutions, provincial government and local government. And key to that is to provide a better leadership. With our deployees, some of them would just need to be reinforced appropriately to ensure that they are able to lead their institutions properly. And I don't like your insinuation to say that their intentions to remove the premier or whatever. There's nothing like that at the moment. If such a thing ever emerges, it may be because of certain reasons, but at the moment, that thing has never emerged in any of the discussions of the IPC until the end, and we shouldn't even be discussing.
Well, in fairness, I did not necessarily say that there's a decision taken to remove her, but let's talk about her performance. Are you happy as the ANC with her performance? I mean, those remarks by the national chairperson of the ANC to say that the government doesn't exist here. Does it mean that as the province you are also not happy with her performance?
I think what the chairperson was saying is for us to re-look at how we govern, for us to really re-look at the leadership we provide to these institutions. And this is exactly what this new leadership should be charged with, to ensure that all our deployees perform and improve services that are given to people. And those are the issues that we really have to be faced with.
There's a decision already taken by the interim provincial committee to remove the executive mayor of Mangaung, Mxolisi Siyonzana. It's been a week or more than a week now since you communicated that you have taken a decision to remove him. When is he resigning? Is he also willing to resign?
Remember that those issues of metros are led mainly by the National Executive Committee. So what the province was expected to do, it has done that. It has submitted names to them, and it's for the National Executive Committee to take the matter.
But no one can be appointed in the position of executive mayor if Mxolisi Siyonzana hasn't resigned. And if you are saying that is the process that is being led by National Executive Committee, one would ask why you did not rather communicate the desire to remove him to the National Executive Committee and let it be the National Executive Committee that instructs him to resign, because you have said to him he must resign. That is why we're saying, has he responded to your call for him to step down?
Yeah, I'm saying this is a process of National Executive Committee, because all the metros in the ANC, all the metros are dealt with by the National Executive Committees, and the provincial committees are dealing with smaller municipalities. But metros, all the metros in the province are a responsibility of the National Executive Committee.
So as matters stand, you don't know when he's going to resign?
It's a matter that is still internal, yes.
All right. Bra-Oba Khobane, thank you so much. He speaks for the ANC's interim provincial committee in the Free State. Marcel?
Oh. Our reporter Moloko Moloto with the very latest there from the ANC, the Free State ANC conference underway in Bloemfontein, but counting the hours as it closes down towards its end.